Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Bringling. Namaskar, my dear friends. You know, welcome to Bringle Talks Wealth with Purpose Mondays. And today we are talking about a new Wealth with Purpose model, a CSR that pays back forever for the Vision 2047. There was a time when CSR meant a check, a donation, a photo op, a press release, but then silence. The project stopped, impact faded, and the check was forgotten. We never questioned because we thought maybe that's how charity works. But what if I told you CSR doesn't have to die when the budget ends? What if it could grow year after year, multiplying its impact even when you stop funding it? Because true CSR is not a cost, it's capital for the country's future. Let's be honest, every CSR head in India faces the same dilemma. Every year they are given a budget, sometimes 1 crore, sometimes 10 crores, and asked to make an impact. But what happens next? Project starts, reports are filed, and then funding stops. And the impact, it fades away like a footprints on the sand. Government schools remain empty, health centers shut down, skill programs end midway. Beautiful CSR story that began with promise ends with permanence. Or I would say ends without permanence. India doesn't need short-term CSR. India needs CSR that pays back forever. Let me emphasize this. Impact that depends on donation will always die when the money runs out. Now imagine this. Your company invests 1 crore as CSR, not as charity, but as a seed capital for a self-sustaining impact model centers. The same 1 crore is plugged into social venture fund, a model that funds preschools, skill centers, health hubs, green infrastructure. And here's the magic. Instead of money disappearing after one project, it starts generating income. Income from education fees, from health subscriptions, from green energy savings, and that income continues to fund the cause year after year. You start one center, the center funds another, the second funds the third, and before you know it, your 1 crore has created 10 crore of social impact. CSR that pays back forever. That's the wealth with purpose model. Because donations end, but systems sustain. Because this is not just about one company or 1 crore. This is about Bharat's rebirth. That's the larger why. That's the nation building model. That's the 10,000 crore vision. About transforming India into a startups and skills capital of the world. We are the fourth largest economy in the world today, but when you look closer, you will see our per capita income still ranks among the bottom half globally, around 139th position. More than 70% of our Indians live at or near or below the poverty line. And yet we have the youngest population in the world. Millions of minds waiting for one opportunity, one skill, one school, one chance to shine. When corporate fund education through self-sustaining Sone Chidiya Jagao centers, when they build health hubs that heal and sustain themselves, when they support green projects that save both planet and profit, they are not just spending CSR budgets, they are building the future of this nation. This is how Vision 2047 would be realized. This is how Mission Zero becomes real. Zero unemployment, zero poverty, zero carbon footprint. Because CSR should not end when the financial year closes. It should begin a new era of financial freedom for all. Corporates often ask, what legacy will our CSR leave? Because they're looking from just annual reports to an eternal impact. And I say legacy is not built through a one-time project. Legacy is built when your impact becomes self-sufficient. Imagine 2047, your company's name on 100 Sone Chidiya Jagao centers, each one educating children, creating jobs, cleaning rivers, healing communities, each one operating independently, funded by the same 1 crore you once invested. That's not CSR, that's nation building. This is the true meaning of the movement. Sone Chidiya Jagao, or awakening the golden boy. A movement where corporates, investors, and citizens come together to make Bharat shine again, not through charity, but through wealth with purpose. Because when profit meets purpose, wealth becomes eternal. Let me tell you, CSR that pays back forever is not a campaign. It's a call to every leader who dreams of a better Bharat. We have built 100 unicorns for the world. Now it's time to build 100 million livelihoods for our people. We have created billion-dollar companies, but now it's time to create a billion soulful smiles. And when we do that together, when each corporate, each investor, and each citizen plays their part, we will awaken that same golden bird once flew across the world, spreading prosperity, peace, and purpose. Because true impact, my dear friends, is not what you donate, it's what you build. That keeps giving even when you're gone. You know, CSR that pays back forever, new wealth with purpose model for Vision 2047. Let me give you some truth which is uncomfortable. We have all given money, time, emotion, and yet how often we wondered, did my donation really change anything? There was a time when charity meant care. But somewhere along the way, charity became a checkbox. CSR became a corporate ritual, a check, a press release, a social media post, and then silence. We thought maybe that's how impact was. You give, you hope, you forget, pause. But what if the impact didn't have to fade? What if we could create systems that keep working long after we are gone? As I mentioned, CSR is not a cost. It's a capital for the country's future. Every CSR head in this country faces the same question. Where did the money go? What changed? School that closed after 1 year, clinics that ran out of funds, skill programs abandoned midway. It's not lack of intent, it's lack of structure. Impact that depends on donation will always die when the money runs out. So what if we could make impact profitable without losing purpose? You know, we speak about broken charity models. Today, let's talk about the model that fixes it. 60% on startups, 40% Sone Chidiya Jagao centers, infinite impact. Startups create wealth. Sone SKCKJ centers sustains purpose. Together, they create India's first self-sustainable cash flow engine. 10,000 crores of impact and investment. You know, it's not about just money. It's about something big. It is about unveiling the 10,000 crore vision. It's about a fund designed not just to create returns, but to rebuild Bharat. This is the engine that powers Mission Zero, zero unemployment, zero poverty, zero environmental damage. For decades, we watched 90% of our startups getting funded by foreigners. We lost over 2 lakh crores in a single day when they exited the market. It wasn't their fault, it was our silence. But now, India stands at a tipping point. 280 to 300 unicorns by 2030. This time, the equity should stay in Indian hands. The golden bird was never lost. We just stopped feeding its wings. Zomato, Nykaa, Flipkart, Paytm, each one was a dream that turned into a fortune. But who owned these dreams? Who profited 90% of the equity? Left India. If ordinary citizens could own a piece of those dreams through a regulated fund, we could build a million crorepatis and a nation of financially free families. The Wealth with Purpose Fund allows you to back the next 100 unicorns while using the profits to educate 100,000 children, 1 lakh children, heal 100 communities, hundreds of communities, and plant millions of trees. This is not just venture capital, this is values capital. Startups create wealth, but purpose creates legacy. You know what? 40% is why 40% will be going in the SKCKJ centers, building skills, health, and environment for generations. Because purpose without profit dies fast. Profit without purpose destroys faster. A hungry stomach can't focus on education. An unhealthy body can't carry a healthy mind. 70% of our nation still lives below the poverty line. We are the world's fourth largest economy by GDP, yet our per capita income ranks far behind. That's why 40% of the fund goes into SHE, skills, health, environment, education that empowers, health that heals, green project that sustain. Every SKCKJ center becomes a self-sustaining engine of change, creating cash flows that never end, while impacting lives that never stop growing. Wealth is temporary when it feeds one life. It becomes eternal when it feeds a generation. CSR was never meant to be a line item in an annual report. It was meant to be the heartbeat of a nation's progress. Corporates don't just donate money, they donate trust. And when the trust is invested right, it can fund schools, clinics, environmental projects that pay back forever. This is the model of the future. This CSR model that builds Bharat and balanced books, tax benefited, audited, replicable, sustainable. As I said, when profit meets purpose, wealth becomes eternal. And now we stand at the crossroads of history. In the next 20 years, India will become the startups and skills capital of the world and remain a market for others to profit from. The choice is ours. This movement, Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao, is our call to awakening. Our Vision 2030 and Vision 2047 are not plans. They're promises to our children. So watch Bringle Talks every day for just 10 minutes at 2x speed for 100x growth and financial freedom. Download the ebooks, have your one-on-one non-obligatory call with me, because some moments in history never come twice. This is one of them. Dare to dream big or die wondering what could have been your billion-dollar dream. So let's speak loud. Jagao, jagao, har ghar tiranga ke saath, har ghar sone ki chidiya ko jagao. Let's awaken the golden bird hidden inside each of you. Keep bringing, keep growing, and keep spreading the Bringle dream wave.